friend of mine asked me to build them an all-white, super powerful computer, which would normally be no problem. But then they said they want it to be really small. Okay, that can be done. There are tons of ITX cases out there that allow you to build super powerful PCs in a tiny form factor. So I was super happy when Deepcool reached out to sponsor a video to showcase their new CH160 case, which is a very attractive ITX case with a lot of features, but still has room for large components like CPU air coolers, ATX power supplies, larger graphics cards, but still comes in at a very affordable price. So this build is not going to be super low budget like we usually do on this channel, but my friend doesn't have infinite money, so the choices I'm making are going to be reasonable to try to fit into his budget, but still put as much power as we can into this tiny case. And as always, links to everything will be down in the video description if you want to pick up anything yourself. But for all ITX PCs, the case is one of the most important aspects. You need to find a case that not only has a good build quality, but can also fit everything you need inside. There are a lot of restrictions when working with these small cases, graphics cards, power supplies, CPU coolers. There are just a lot of different components that won't fit inside every case, but that's by design, because if everything fit inside, then it wouldn't be small. So I'll go over any compromises I needed to make when building in this case, so you know what to look for if you decide to as well. Deepcool has released the CH160, and there's an awful lot of buzz going around in the small form factor space. The case comes with a tempered glass side panel, so you can make use of any RGB components you have, but still has a ton of airflow, which is something that many small form factor cases fall short on. Basically every panel on this case is full mesh design and removable for easy assembly. It's a bit modular as well, giving you the option to use either an SFX size power supply, which are the traditionally smaller ones, or even an ATX power supply, which is the standard PSU we're all used to. So I'm eager to build in this thing and see just how well it's going to be able to fit everything all at once. And hey, it even has a handle for the easy traveling. I mean, this thing is supposed to be portable, isn't it? Of course, we are going to be using an ITX sized motherboard, which generally hold a more premium price since it's more difficult to manufacture and a more niche product. And he wanted this MSI MPG B760i Edge, which is a really attractive motherboard built for the LGA 1700 socket type that is just chock full of features. It's got built-in Wi-Fi 6E, 2.5 gig Ethernet for faster local network speeds, PCIe 5.0 16 slot, 2 Gen 4 NVMe slots, and check out all these heat sinks and shields. Those VRMs are cooled to the max. A lot of the features won't realistically gain him any performance in gaming technically, but this is someone who's going to be using this machine for everything for a long time, so spending a little extra to have more features was really important to him. And the CPU we're putting in here is the Intel i7-12700K, an absolute banger of a processor that will push literally any graphics card you throw at it. 12 total cores, 8 being performance and 4 being efficient, with a total of 20 threads and a max turbo of 5 GHz. This level of CPU is more than enough for most people and will help my friend push his PC to the max for years to come. And since he got the K variant of the CPU, if he ever wants to overclock it to get a little more power, he can totally do that. But I doubt he ever would. But he could. And isn't that the real reason we all tell ourselves why we buy the more expensive versions? Now for the CPU cooler, Deepcool also sent over their AK500 Digital, which is a massive cooler with an all-white aesthetic. I told them there's no way this is going to fit inside this tiny case, and they said, hold my beer. This thing looks very cool and offers a totally different look for the traditional air coolers. It's not just a heatsink with a fan slapped on the side. It's like its own little house in there. It's got an amazing build quality as well as a tiny display on it that shows the temperature your cooler is currently running at, which is a great peace of mind when looking over at your PC and making sure it's not overheating. So yeah, this thing is going to cool the CPU incredibly well, and it surprisingly fit perfectly inside the CH160 case. Deepcool states that any cooler that is shorter than 172 mm in height will fit, which is a surprising amount of room in a tiny case, but still, just be cautious when you're buying a cooler for this case, or any ITX case for that matter. We've got this tempered glass side panel, so I knew I wanted to get him some RGB RAM to make the inside glow a little bit. So I picked up 32 gigs of Corsair Vengeance DDR5 RAM that is clocked at 6,000 megatransfers per second. They are white with some gorgeous RGB attached, and they come from Corsair, which is a reliable brand in this space, so I know my friend will be super happy with this choice. Now my friend already has the storage he's going to be using for this machine, which I'm pretty sure is a 2TB Gen 4 SSD, but I don't have it on hand today, so I'll just be using my own games drive to benchmark this PC in the meantime. Now for the graphics card, we have an awful lot of room in this case. Deepcool says that it can support graphics cards up to 305mm in length, which is a surprising amount of cards out there. But it probably won't fit those beefy 3-fan ones from some of the higher end manufacturers. But I've built an ATX mid-tower cases that don't fit those cards either, so it's no surprise. My friend really wanted an NVIDIA card, and he wanted something brand new. So we grabbed this RTX 4070 from Asus. It's a beautiful all-white 2-fan card with 12 gigs of VRAM and is overclocked out of the box. Asus makes some really great performing cards and they all look really aesthetic, as the kids say. Our CPU is more than enough to power the RTX 4070, and if the owner of this computer wants to upgrade the graphics card in a few years, he should be able to simply plug in the new one and be good to go. And this is an NVIDIA card after all, so he's able to use all of their great features like ray tracing, RTX voice, DLSS, shadow play, as well as G-Sync with whatever monitor he's going to be using. Now, putting in an SFX power supply would be very simple, but I wanted to try to stretch the machine to its limits, and if Deepcool claims that I can put in an ATX power supply, I'm gonna do it. I picked up this white 750 watt PSU from Asus Prime, which is gold rated, fully modular, and comes with an 8-year warranty. I have no doubt this thing will last even longer than that and provide a lot of reliability for my buddy's PC. But while the PSU did fit in the machine, due to the modular design, the cables sticking out of it were a little too long for the graphics card I chose. So if you're building in this with an ATX power supply, just know that anything can happen when working in such confined spaces. It's kind of the nature of the beast. I didn't want to replace the graphics card, so I went ahead and just picked up an SFX power supply after all, and it worked fine after that. Alright, let's get this thing fully built and do some quick benchmarking to see how powerful this tiny PC really is. Now this PC came out really well, and I think it looks absolutely gorgeous in the CH160 case. If you're planning on building your own small form factor computer, just be prepared to pay a premium for some of the parts, and just know that even if all the measurements say something will fit, there's always reasons that it just might not. So just be sure to buy your parts from somewhere with a generous return policy in case you need to make any swaps. Also be wary of airflow, as it's not always as easy to align your fans as it is in bigger cases. I think we're gonna test out different positions of the fans on this PC before settling on a final one, because as it currently stands, we don't really have any intake. My friend wanted a white case, but it also comes in black. It's also releasing at a pretty affordable price, which I'm happy to see. But other than that, I think my friend is going to absolutely love this PC, and I hope it helps him finally bring in the ladies, because God knows he needs the help. Sorry, Brian. If you want to pick up the Deepcool CH160 case or anything else from this video, links are all in the video description below. And if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up below and get subscribed for more technology content. My name's Jason. Thanks for watching.